Peace and blessings. Hi guys, this is Asia Rafiq, modest fashion designer and certified in behavioral engineering from Dubai. Welcome to third episode of Make My Style Accessible. This is my project where we are educating people about fashion inclusion, adaptive clothing and more. Today my guest is Miss Usha Nair. Miss Usha Nair is from Malaysia and she is founder of Dawn Adaptive Clothing. Let's meet our guest on my project, Make My Style Accessible. Welcome, Ms. Usha Nair. Thank you for your time. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone who tuned in with us today. Thank you, Aisha, for having me as your guest on your project, Make My Style Accessible. Anyone that do not know me, I'm Usha Gopalan Nair, the founder and CEO of Dawn Adaptive.
Thank you, Ms. Usha. It was a wonderful introduction. Can you please tell us more about your brand, Dawn Adaptive Clothing?
Okay, let me give you a little background on how I started Dawn Adaptive. Firstly, I'm a mom of two beautiful girls, Rihanna and Ivana. My younger daughter was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when she was like 18 months old. With CP, her condition actually impacted her ability to do various daily tasks on her own. She struggles to do simple things that most of us take for granted, something like buttoning a shirt or even putting her hands through her sleeve. This is really hard for her. This is when or made me realize that there are many other people with disability just like my daughter who are actually struggling to access easy wear but yet a fashionable clothing options.
That's amazing. So, was there any business partner with you? And can you please tell us more about your journey?
Incidentally, when I met Bernard, my business partner, who is also diagnosed with SMA, we realized we share the same thoughts and interest to start adaptive fashion here in Malaysia. Just like that, real quickly, we understood that with our forces together, we can make a change. So this is how Dawn Adaptive was born. It's really an honor to offer adaptive clothing line here in Malaysia. We want our brand be more inclusive and accessible to all. What I mean by that is anyone can wear our fashion, able-bodied or differently able-bodied. Clothing that works for everyone. I look at adaptive clothing line as a fashion that includes differently able community. Fashion should not be divided by or divided to able-bodied or differently able-bodied. We need to be truly inclusive in all aspects, include everyone with or without disabilities. Adaptive clothing definitely solves some of the dressing challenges that people with physical disabilities face daily. It also definitely makes a caregiver's job easier. It makes dressing quick and safe. Our clothing definitely designed with ease of dressing in mind. Our first product with magnetic buttons. It's a magnetic closure on a polo tee. Very practical. Makes dressing easier for people with limited mobility, especially for those who had stroke, people with cerebral palsy, arthritis, Parkinson, or even if you are recovering from a hand surgery. It really very helpful. With our clothing, people with limited mobility can dress up independently and reduce the burden on their caretakers. It's not just for people with disabilities. It makes getting dressed easier for everyone, including the able-bodied. What I mean by that is, like example, when you are too lazy to get ready in the morning, you just can take our shirts, throw it on, snap the magnetic buttons, and ta-da, you're ready to go. that easy. Uh, we want to give people the possibilities of enjoying this innovative fashion and to make life easier and cooler. To me, adaptive clothing definitely gives a psychological boost. It helps people with limited mobility regain their confidence and their self esteem. This is so important, the possibility of dressing up themselves and enjoying their independence. It's very important. We all know the saying says the sexiest thing you can wear is your confidence. At Dawn Adaptive, we actively engage or involve the disabled community by sending out questionnaires in all our decisions in making an outfit. We listen to their wants and needs in designing these outfits. And through my own personal experience with my daughter, I can tell you the struggle we have with regular garments that are sold on the rack in the malls. We need like half an hour to get her dressed or get her into her clothes to dress her up. You need to be really careful not to injure her or hurt her. So you slowly need to get her dressed. Those are the struggles when you get clothes from the, normal brand who doesn't think much about people with disabilities. Honestly, clothes on the shelves sometimes simply too difficult to put on for people with limited mobility. Sadly, fashion industry here doesn't often think about this marginalized consumer population, like with people with disabilities when they design their clothes. So my humble request to brands out there is to add disability friendly features on their design, like add a magnetic button, Velcro, or zipper, which means we need to have brands to rethink about how they are designing, and they should ask questions like, are our design excluding someone in the community? Guess here in Malaysia, year 2020, it's time for our local designers to rethink the world around them and make fashion truly accessible and inclusive for all. With that said, we at Dawn Adaptive started working with few local designers and local factory to make this change. We definitely need more support from other local designers and brands. And we would like to partner with these brands and make Dawn Adaptive as their platform for creating clothes with disability in mind. And raise awareness about inclusion for everyone in the fashion industry. I strongly believe this can be made possible. Together with our local designers, Dawn Adaptive would like to create a pleasing clothes that allows wearer and an opportunity to express themselves. Plus a design that anyone can wear and break these social barriers. I want to see my elder girl wearing the same clothes that her sister with disability can rock with. I really would love to see people with disability rocking with Dawn Adaptive inclusive fashion and not just look at their disabilities. For this to happen, we need able-bodied customers to change their perception on adaptive clothing. Oftentimes, they believe that adaptive clothing are only for people with disabilities. That is totally not the case. Adaptive clothing are inclusive and accessible for every body type. Sadly, some Malaysians have this mindset that when you wear adaptive clothes, which they think it's only for people with disability, and if they wear it, it is like a bad omen, or like they are going to be cursed with these sudden disabilities. That is really sad to hear, how they think. This is where Dawn Adaptive come in, and we are here to advocate people about what is adaptive clothing and how it's going to be help one another. It don't have to think this as only a disabled attire. So we need to change this perception by making people come together and break the stereotype. We need a world where no one gets discriminated for their differences. In my opinion, if you are going to provide a fashion, make sure it's literally for everyone. Let's end the segregation between able-bodied and differently able-bodied. Advocate, open eyes, reduce the stigma. Let's just work on stigma-free fashion. Yeah, stop associating adaptive fashion products as a curse or you're going to be disabled by using them. So shop with us, spread our message of inclusion while helping to bring inclusivity to a new level. With that said, once again, thank you, Asia, for having me in your program and giving me the opportunity to talk about inclusion and empowering people with disability through fashion here in Malaysia and also around the world. I guess fashion has the power to unite us and lift our spirits. I wish you all the best, Asia, for your project Make My Style Accessible. Your attention towards what matters most allow us to reconsider our priorities. Together, I hope we find ways to better make the world in the image of our hopes. Take care, Asia. Till we meet again. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Usha, for joining us from Malaysia on my project Make My Style Accessible. Thank you so much. It was wonderful time, so informative. My aim is to provide our listeners or viewers most accurate information about inclusive fashion. I'm sure of that. And I thank my viewers, my listeners, my supporters. Thank you for being here and thank you for your time. See you later. Stay safe.